What's up YouTube, I'm back. In today's video, I'm going to be playing Fallout 4. I'm really excited to show you this, so let's get right into it. Before I began, I decided to install a mod since Fallout 4 is one of the only console games that allows some. Next, I made sure that my character would be the ugliest thing in a wasteland full of zombies, mutated roaches, and two-headed deer. Once I finished making my abomination, the sales rep came to the door looking for me. Despite me saying no every way possible, my wife still made me fill out the forms. She would pay for that later. I filled out his paperwork, and then China went on a 25-gun kill streak and dropped a nuke on America. So, we headed to the vault. We then got put into these pods that looked suspiciously like the crewmates from Among Us. In some more good news, my wife got shot in the head and my son got kidnapped. Once I woke up from my nap, I took out some massive roaches, acquired a pistol, and got the newest Apple Watch. I then escaped the vault. Once outside, I told my robot maid that he was an idiot and useless. I then got some better armor and weapons. Next, I found some elites from Halo. So, I killed them like I was the Master Chief himself. This guy then told me he was in dire need of my help, so I left because I had more important things to do. I then came across this diner where two groups of people were arguing. I didn't know who was right, so I killed everyone there. Next, I found some zombies who wanted to play patty cake. These elites were being really rude while I was trying to play with the zombies, so I politely asked them to stop. I then found a squad of soldiers who sucked at the game and couldn't defend themselves against some zombies. So I helped them because I'm a good Samaritan who helps people in need. After I'm done with my good deed for the day, I find this massive creature that was hiding in the water. He had a skull next to his name, which made me think that he would be a challenge. However, he died quicker than my wife. Once that guy was dealt with, I killed some triggermen, fought some more triggermen, and then killed even more triggermen. I then entered this vault, where I killed some more triggermen and freed this detective. We then took out some more triggermen, as well as these people who weren't even trying to fight us. After we got our daily dose of killing triggermen, we talked outside and Nick said to meet him at his office in Diamond City. So I traveled to Diamond City. Once there, I sold some stuff and I told this lady that I wasn't human.
Not human at all.
I knew it! Get away from my stall, you synth! We don't serve you things here!
I then got interviewed by Nick. We talked about unimportant things like my wife getting murdered and my son getting kidnapped. It turns out, the man who killed my wife's name was Kellogg and he had a house in Diamond City. So we went over there and I watched Nick fail miserably at trying to lockpick the door. After Nick failed to open the door, I went to the mayor and gave him a fake sob story that would put YouTube apologies to shame. It worked and he gave me the key. So me and Nick entered Kellogg's house, where I immediately took every single item that wasn't bolted down. We found nothing of use, so Nick said he'd call in a special tracker to help us find Kellogg. Once outside, this stray dog approached us looking for food. So I shot him, which is what you should do if that happens in real life. It turns out this dog was Nick's special tracker. Nick really wanted to come with me to get Kellogg.
Bye, Nick.
We set off to find Kellogg. Shortly into our journey, I got jumped by some mercenaries. So I did what anyone would do if this happened to them in real life and shot them with an explosive arrow out of my compound bow. Shortly after, this bear decided to get in my way as I was trying to shoot dog meat. We then found a paraplegic robot. We eventually made our way to where Kellogg was hiding. One by one his robots hurled themselves at me, and one by one I slaughtered them. When I eventually found Kellogg, I shot him with a nuclear arrow to show him what I do to anyone who hurts my wife except for me. After I raided his house, took all of his belongings, and shot him with a nuke, I then proceeded to go onto Kellogg's computer and delete all of his Minecraft worlds. This massive blimp that was carrying armed soldiers and armed helicopters then arrived and said that it had peaceful intentions.
Our intentions are peaceful.
These guys were dangerous. They posed a threat to everyone in the Commonwealth. They could, and would, put everyone in harm's way. So I immediately went and joined up. Before I could join the Brotherhood of Steel, I had to help Paladin dance since he was an incompetent soldier. So we fought our way to ArcJet Systems, singing and holding hands the entire way. Once we got there, the real action began. Or so I thought, but Dance was just having me open this door. But then the real action began. We killed synths, we killed turrets, if it moved, it was destroyed. We then came into this room with a jet engine. So I decided to pull a prank on Dance and turn it on while he was in the middle of a battle. He had armor lock from Halo Reach, so he was okay. Once Dance got done being a drama queen, we killed some more synths and got the deep range transmitter so Dance could Skype with his long distant girlfriend. One elevator ride later, Dance invited me to join the Brotherhood of Steel, and I immediately spent all of my V-Bucks to reach the rank of Knight. My squad mates were also huge fans of me, which was a plus.
Yeah? And here I thought you joined up for a sense of purpose and meaning.
Yeah, you do. You need to prove that you aren't gonna put a round in my back the minute I turn around.
After my squad mates showed me that I could count on them, we got in this helicopter where Dance told me to watch where I'm shooting. So, I did exactly that. While on our field trip, we saw some students that were from a different school. Once we got to the hot air balloon, I listened to this guy in the fur coat talk about how great he was. Once he was done stroking his ego, he told me to go meet the other members of the Brotherhood of Steel. I took this assignment very seriously and gave each of them the respect they deserve.
There was this one really ugly girl in college. I mean, I had to get drunk, and it was a dare, and ugh.
Clean your glasses, Pops. I don't care. I didn't join up to impress everyone.
Must be in there for a reason.
Maybe I'll keep my distance.
I then went and talked to Elder Maxson. He told me he wanted me to take out some super mutants who had just egged our Zeppelin. So, I hopped in a helicopter and flew over there. Once we got to Fort Strong, I took out everything that breathed. I killed super mutants, I killed a behemoth, and then I carefully stepped out of the vertebrate in order to avoid slipping on any potentially wet surfaces. After the proper safety procedures were followed, I killed some more super mutants, killed their cousins, and then I killed their pets. Dance then showed up and told me that I had just done humanity a great service. In all reality, I just killed them because it was fun. I then went to talk to Proctor Tegan. He wanted me to force local farmers to hand over their crops to the Brotherhood of Steel. So, I went and told these farmers to give us their harvest or I would gun them down like they were super mutants. I was disgusted by my actions. I had just forced a bunch of hard-working farmers to give us free food. I regretted my actions so much, I went and did it 2 more times. I remembered that my son had been kidnapped, so I went to go talk to Nick and then blamed him for no reason.
This is your fault, Nick. You had me running all over the place while Kellogg was busy handing Sean over to the Institute.
We also deduced that Kellogg had given my son to the Institute, a brutal and secretive society that everyone was scared of. So, I immediately started trying to join. My first step was to locate the entrance. I went to Good Neighbor. Once there, this guy approached me to ask for the time. So I shot him, because I was on an important mission and had no time to waste. Once I was done setting a good example for the kids, I talked to Dr. Amari and I told her that I enjoy playing Dead by Daylight. I then sat in this comfy chair where I relived Kellogg's memories and even saw my wife get shot again. After I was done re-watching The Greatest Instance of Karma, I set out to find a scientist named Virgil who could help me get into the Institute. Before I went to go find Virgil, I talked to Nick and made sure that I was extra nice since he just risked his life for me.
Something wrong with you, Nick. I don't want you with me.
I then picked up my power armor from the laundromat and went to the glowing sea. The journey was awful. I got attacked by giant bugs. There was no cell phone service. There was radiation everywhere. And worst of all, no hot singles in the area. After having to endure that trauma, I found a camp of religious zealots that worshipped radiation. So, I shot a nuke into their camp. They were so grateful, they decided to be my target practice. I then found a Deathclaw. He tried to pick me up, however he didn't realize that I was in armor that weighed over 1 ton. After dealing with that silly goose, I found Virgil. It turns out, Virgil was kicked out of the Institute because he doesn't know how to shut up. After giving me a lecture that I didn't ask for, he told me I needed to kill a dangerous synth known as a Courser in order to get into the Institute. So, I went to GREENETECH Genetics. The gunners inside posed quite a challenge, is what I would say if I wanted to lie to you. They practically threw themselves on top of my lightsaber blade. After killing more gunners than I could count, I ordered some pizza because all that killing gave me an appetite.
I'm here to pick up an order. 2 large pepperoni and a calzone. Name is Fuck You.
It turns out, the guy I was ordering my food from was the Courser. I killed him with ease. Virgil made it sound difficult, but I beat the Courser harder than an abusive parent beats their child. I then freed this prisoner. I then talked to the brain doctor, who told me I would need to talk to the railroad in order to get the chip decoded. So I went to this church, killed some zombies, and learned how to spell railroad. This lady told me to stand still, and I accidentally shot a nuke at her. In order to make up for it, I showed all her friends my cool lightsaber. The railroad was being really rude and ignoring me, so I decoded the chip myself. I then talked to Virgil. He told me I would need to build a device that would do science things and would allow me to teleport into the Institute. Elder Maxon said to talk to him if I found anything that could help us get into the Institute, so since I'm a good soldier and follow orders, I didn't. What I did do is go to Concord. Once there, I killed some raiders, absolutely demolished some more raiders, got attacked by the local fauna, and then to end the perfect day, ended some more raiders. I also saved some people, which was cool, I guess. Next I talked to Elder Maxon and told him about my device. I then talked to No Legs lady who gave me a list of parts to build. I was missing a few things, so I ran to my local Walmart to pick up some military-grade technology. Once I got all the items I needed, I finished my science fair project. That's going to be the end of this video. If you enjoyed the video, leave a like to show your support. And if you enjoy my content, you should subscribe. I upload funny gaming videos at least once a week. Thank you for watching, and God bless.